Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. The last time we met, we were discussing on this topic on cost unit, cost classification, and profit reporting. And the last thing we were discussing was on how do we classify cost based on the cost behavior. Okay, how we classify cost based on their behavior. Okay, and here the term behavior, what you're trying to insinuate is simply how will the cost behave in line with the increase in the level of activity. Okay, if, for example, we were to produce more units as a company, how will the cost be like? Okay, is the cost going to increase? Is the cost going to remain constant? How does the cost behave? Is cost going to decrease? Okay, that's simply called classifying cost based on behavior. Okay, trying to observe. Okay, how will the cost be like if we are to either increase or decrease the units of production, okay, or the activity level, okay. If, for example, you are a retailer, you are not producing, okay, in that case, therefore, you may want to estimate, okay, what happened if, for example, you have to sell more units, okay, attempting to observe, okay, how the cost will be like if the level of activity, okay, and by activity can be anything, either the units you're selling, the units you're producing, okay, how will the cost be like, okay, behave, okay, if we were to increase the number of units that we are either selling or we are producing, for example, okay. So he's trying to identify, okay, the patterns that the cost will follow in line with the number of the units of production, the units of sales that we are making, okay. I think we can also say that one of the way we can classify cost is what we call the variable cost, okay, the variable cost, okay, and variable cost, okay. Just remember, did we discuss variable cost?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, and it's a simple recap. So on the case of the variable cost, we see that the cost is going to vary in line with the number of units. Okay, so if, for example, we want to produce more units, then we will be incurring more cost. Okay, simple example. If you are, they could give example of, let's say you are Unilever, okay, and you're making more of Omo. Okay, if you produce more units of Omo, then definitely maybe you will require the ingredients, the raw material, okay, that will be requiring, that makes up the Omo, they will consume more. Okay, therefore, the cost of those raw material will be increasing in line with the number of kgs, maybe of Omo that you are making. Okay, so it's going to so the material cost, okay, the raw material costs will be increasing in line with the units that we're making. Okay, the lower the number of units we make, the lower becomes the number of the unit, the cost. Okay, the higher the number of units that we're making, okay, the higher the costs that we'll be incurring in terms of raw material purchase cost. Okay. And we did an example with, so that this is how the graph will be like, okay, that as we do increase, as we increase the level of activity here, okay, these are the units, okay, as we maybe produce more or sell more units, then the cost will be increasing, okay, the cost will be increasing, okay, and it is in the line or the gradient more or less, okay, is going to remain constant, okay, don't forget the gradient from the beginning, okay, until the end, the gradient remain the same, okay, so the cost is not going, because you can have different costs, okay, so generally, do not forget the material cost per unit, for example, okay? The material cost per unit, okay? If the material that 1 kg of Omo will be consuming, okay, is the same irrespective of the number of Omo that you consume, that you make, okay? Which means, therefore, the variable cost per unit, the variable cost per unit, okay? The material cost per unit, the material that's maybe to make one product will be consuming the same, okay? So the variable cost per unit, remain the same, is a constant, okay? The term here, the variable cost is a constant. Which means, therefore, you have to graph the variable cost per unit, okay? There's a variable cost per unit, variable cost per unit, Okay, then of course this is the activity level of the units. Then the variable cost per unit remain the same irrespective of the units of production that we are making as a company. Okay, variable cost remain the same irrespective the variable cost per unit. Okay, this is total variable cost. Okay, so because you may get confused by the graph, so be careful. Okay, what is the independent variable here? Okay, what is the independent variable? Okay, be careful on what is the dependent variable here. Is it total cost or is it the variable cost per unit? Because if it is per unit, then it is fixed. But if it is the total variable cost, then it is going to be increasing in line with the number of units that you are producing. The next is what we call the fixed cost. Okay, the fixed cost. The fixed cost, okay, don't forget, the costs remain fixed, as the name is suggesting, okay, it remain constant irrespective of the level of the activity that you're making, okay, or you're producing, okay, irrespective of the number of units that we shall be selling, okay. The salary that you pay to the employees, those, let's say, the permanent employee, okay, it doesn't matter how much you produce, okay, the salary to those employees is the same, okay, irrespective whether this month they produce nothing, next month produce 10,000, okay, so more or less there'll be a case here where the cost you do pay or the amount you pay, for example, to your accountants, for example, okay, is the same. It doesn't matter whether you produce more units or you produce less units, it is a fixed, the salary that you do pay to them is a fixed salary, okay. So therefore, irrespective of the number of units you'll be producing, okay, as let's say Unilever, it doesn't matter, okay. At the end of the day, okay, the salary you pay to the CEO, for example, will be the same, okay. Whether you produce zero, you produce maybe 10,000 units per day, okay, the salaries remain the same, for example, okay. So for most of the employees, most of the employees, okay, the pay is a fixed pay, okay. The pay, for example, is a fixed pay. So it does not matter the number of units that you are producing, but the pay you make to those employees is a constant. So fixed cost is a cost which tend to be unaffected in total by increase or decrease in the volume of output. Okay, so it does not matter. Okay, how many units that you are producing, how many units that you're going to make over a given time period. It does not matter. Okay, so it remains fixed. Okay. The fixed are called period charge, okay, in that they relate to a span of time, okay. As time span increases, so too the fixed be. Now, what we mean by period charge or period cost, okay, is that they are only fixed for a certain period of time. For example, the salary you pay to the employee, okay, is fixed for that 1 month, okay. If we were to have the our independent variable being months, okay, then of course to be increasing as month goes by, okay. Let me illustrate that point, okay? What I mean, this is called a period charge, okay? That, for example, the pay that you make to the employee, the rent you pay, okay, it is fixed for only that 1 month. The next month you pay also, okay? So in case you have to have the independent variable here, okay? If, for example, you have to have the independent variable here being time, then the rent you pay, okay, you pay, for example, let's assume you pay 20,000, okay, per month, okay? Then don't forget, next month, this is month 1, the second month, the total pay, the total rent will jump to 40,000. Okay, so it's a period cost. It will only remain fixed for a certain period of time. Okay, for a certain period of time. But as time increases, then of course the variable cost, the cost that you'll be incurring, will be increasing. Okay, that's what we refer to them. They are period cost. They only remain fixed for a certain period of time. Past that period, the cost increases. Okay, so get into that because you may be asked, okay, why are fixed costs called period costs? Okay, they only remain fixed for a certain span of time, for a certain period of time. Beyond that time, the cost increases further. For example, the salary to the managing director per month, per annum, it remains fixed. Okay, it does not matter. It remains fixed. It does not matter how many units that you will be making. Okay, at the end of the day, the pay to those employees, the accountants. Okay, the one more towards the admin side. Okay, it is more or less going to be a fixed cost for that period of time. Okay, the rent you pay. Okay, is going, for example, going to be a constant. Okay, it will be a constant. The rent that you do pay. The depreciation, okay, for loss of value on assets, okay. I'm not sure they have done depreciation, okay, for loss of value on assets. But in case of the use of the number of methods can use when it comes to asset depreciation, one of them being the use of the straight line method of depreciation, okay. So it does not matter, okay, which year we are in, okay. At the end of the day, the cost that or the loss of value of the asset is equal. Okay, for example, you can say that if I bought the asset at, let's say, if the cost of the asset was 10,000, and every year, or rather, you're going to use this asset for 10 years, okay? You're going to use this asset for 10 years. If we don't have an equal distribution of this cost over the life of this asset, it'll be 10,000, we divide by the 10 years. So every year, the amount of depreciation, the loss of value of the asset, will be accounted for, will be 1,000, okay? Be 1,000. So it does not matter whether we're in year 1 or year 10. The loss of value of the asset is equal at $10,000, okay? This is referred to as this is therefore a fixed cost, okay? And as I mentioned, don't forget, it does not matter the level of activity, okay, that we will be having, okay. At the end of the day, the cost we've been carrying, the total cost we've been carrying will be the same, okay, to be equal. It does not matter, okay. As you can see, therefore, the cost remain fixed, okay. And as I mentioned, be very careful on what we have here as our dependent variable. Because in case we'll be having, actually, what should happen if we have to have fixed cost per unit here being our dependent variable, fixed cost per unit? How will the graph be like? And here are the units or the level of activity. How will our graph be like? If we have to have as the dependent variable being the fixed cost per unit. How will the cost be like? Or how will the graph appear like? Ishmael. Ishmael.
Yes.
Yes. In case you have the fixed cost per unit being our dependent variable, okay? So the question I'm asking here is how will the graph be like? Because in case you to use the total cost, okay, the fixed cost, as we have seen here, it will remain constant. It's a constant throughout, okay? But what if you have to have fixed cost per unit? What will happen to the graph? How the graph be like?
I'm not sure.
Ishmael. Yvonne.
Yes.
How the graph be like?
I'm not sure about it.
Now, what's happening here? Moses?
Yes.
Yes. How will the graph be like?
I'm not quite sure.
Now, let me go back to variable cost because I'm not sure that you guys who are listening, you see that in the terms of the variable cost, okay, we see that the total variable cost, okay, the total variable cost we see the total variable cost, if this we have here as our dependent variable, we see that in case we are going to be producing more units, then of course you as Unilever, you're going to buy more of the ingredients that makes Omo. Therefore, the total cost will be increasing based on the number of units that you're producing. Okay, the more you produce, the more raw material, the more ingredients you'll be consuming. Okay, but we say that if, for example, you take one piece of Omo to make 1 kg of Omo, okay, how much ingredient do you consume? It is the same. Whether you produce, whether in the first one unit, the second unit, the third unit, it does not matter. The ingredients that 1 kg of Omo you're consuming is the same. Therefore, the variable cost per 1 kg of Omo that is being produced, okay, we have here, is a constant. It does not matter if you produce 10, but you produce 1 unit or you produce 10,000 units, the cost remains the same, the fixed cost, okay, more or less from that angle. The variable cost is a constant. The variable cost per unit is a constant. And this is how the graph will be like. Okay, is that clear? Variable cost per unit. Okay, that's how it will be like. Okay, to be a constant throughout. It does not matter how many units produced. At the end of the day, the costs remain fixed per unit. Now the question here I'm asking is that what if we are to have now the fixed cost? Okay, we are saying that first the fixed cost, okay, is fixed. The total cost remain fixed irrespective of the number of units produced. For example, the rent. Okay, for example, here we have the case of rent. Okay. Okay, for example, it's the case of rent here. Okay, so it does not matter whether you produce 1 kg of momo or you produce 1,000 kgs of momo, the rent you pay is the same. That's what we say that the rent is therefore a fixed cost. Okay, now what if we determine the fixed cost per unit, being therefore our dependent variable here, and here it's the level of activity that we have. How will the cost? How will therefore the cost be like? How will a graph appear like? Jay.
Yes.
Yes, how will the cost be like?
No idea.
Hey, what's happening today? Marvin. Yes, Alexander.
The graph will it will be like an L.
An L. What do you mean in this way?
Yes, but slightly curved L. Yeah.
So it will be a sort of, is that a concave or a convex? I'm not sure what was the. So
yeah, a concave.
That way.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Alexander. That's what the cost will be like. Hey, you guys, what was happening today? Yes, Alexander, thank you for that. Okay. Don't forget the cost will be decreasing. Okay, the cost will be decreasing. Okay. If, for example, you produce 1 unit, the rent you pay is if you have to make distribution of that rent, okay, on per unit. If, for example, the rent you pay is, let's say, 10,000. If you produce 1 unit, okay, that 1 month, therefore, you can say, therefore, the allocation of this rent to 1 unit is 10,000. If you produce 2, the cost per unit is 5,000. If you produce, let's say, 4, it is 2,500. Okay, if you have to distribute this 10,000 among those 4 units, okay, if you produce, let's say, 100, the cost become 100. That's the case. Okay, they're going to have our graph appearing like a series, like more or less like a concave or convex. Okay, so they're going to be dropping, to be decreasing. Okay, as the number of units increase. Okay, the fixed cost per unit. Thank you, Alexander, for that. Okay, the fixed cost per unit. Okay. Because don't forget, as I mentioned, you have to be very careful, okay, on what you've been given here, because the exam is going to present you with a graph, okay. You're meant to, among the different costs given there, okay, you're meant to determine whether this was a fixed cost or whether this was a variable cost, okay. So be very careful, okay, on what we have here as our dependent variable, okay, because the graph will be different based on what we have there as our dependent variable, okay, on a y-axis. Then you also call the stepped fixed cost, okay? You have what we call the stepped fixed cost, okay? Now here, these are costs that generally, okay, they'll be, by nature, okay, they are what we call is that, by nature, the cost is fixed. However, it will be increasing if we do produce beyond a certain level of activity, okay? Let me give you an example, okay? The example would be a case of rent, okay? If, for example, currently, okay, the factory, we have leased out a factory where we do produce our commodity, okay? The rent you pay, okay, for that one factory, okay, let's say 10,000, okay? You pay 10,000, okay? If, for example, that particular factory is fully occupied, okay, and as a company, let's say the number of units you produce here, let me just put it this way. You produce, let's say, in a month, you produce, let's say, 100,000 units, okay? And that's the maximum capacity that can be produced in that factory. if, for example, as a company, you would want, okay, to produce more units, okay, these are units, okay, to produce more units, okay, for example, you want to increase the capacity to 200,000, okay, to 200,000 units per month. What do? You must rent out another factory, okay, you must rent a second factory, okay, somewhere, okay, at a cost of the same, an extra 10,000, okay. Therefore, if you have to consider the total rent as our dependent variable here, okay, if you consider, for example, the total rent being our dependent variable, okay, and here you have units being our x, the x on the x-axis, we will see that first the rent of the factory, okay, if you produce between 0, okay, and 10,000 and 100,000 units, the rent is the same. You pay 10,000, okay, you pay 10,000. If you would want to produce 200,000, then you must rent out a second factory because you can't produce more in that factory. It's fully occupied in quote. Okay. Therefore, in case you want to produce this 20,000, then you must rent out another factory. Okay. And an extra cost of 10,000. Okay. Therefore, the total rent cost will jump all the way to 20,000, for example. Okay, to 20,000. If you're to increase more production, the cost therefore will be increasing further. Okay. That's referred to as the stepped fixed cost. Okay, the cost is fixed only for a certain level of activity. Beyond that level, beyond 100,000 units, then you must lease out another factory somewhere else. Okay, if you don't produce more units. Okay, because in the current capacity, you cannot be able to produce more. You cannot be able to produce more. You cannot be able to manufacture more in that particular factory because it's fully occupied. Okay, it is fully occupied. Clear? So this is referred to as the stepped fixed cost. And
so I have a question.
Mm.
So in regards to the last slide of the graph.
20, this one.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you know how you said that the graph like takes a convex shape, yeah? Why wouldn't you like just draw like a straight line? Is that like a reason?
It's a straight line, okay?
Instead of
like this way, just
yeah.
This way.
Yeah.
Now you see, it can't be like that because what does it say? If this, what does it mean here at this point?
Sorry, pardon?
What would it mean that if you try to draw a graph here, okay, that in case you draw a straight line, okay, it means therefore the line of the cost per unit line will have to touch on our x-axis, is it, as a point?
Yeah.
But is that conceivable? Is that realistic?
No. No,
because either way you have to incur some cost irrespective of the number of units. That's why it will be more of like a concave. I don't know. I'm not sure whether this shape it is, but it'll be more of a curve. Okay, it can't be a straight line. Because if it's a straight line, then it means at some point in the future, there will be a point in time when the graph will have to touch on our x-axis. And the cost then will be 0, which is not realistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it is. It has to be a curve.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that's on the stepped fixed cost, okay? So that the cost remains fixed only for a certain level of activity. Beyond those activity levels, then you have to incur more costs. You have to pay more, okay? For example, with the case of rent, okay? Or even maybe it could be, what could be an example? Trying to think of another example which is stepped in itself. Or even the salaries to the accountants, maybe. If you are a small company, you make maybe, I don't know, you make 10,000 units, okay? You may want, for example, to employ only one accountant because you're still an SME, so you don't need to have a huge accounting department. However, if your capacity increases, then maybe the workload may overwhelm the one accountant. So what do? You could be forced to employ more accountants along the way so that they can be able to handle the extra workload that comes with your extra production, okay? That's another example maybe, okay? the admin cost side, okay, it will have to increase in line with more the more units that we do incur, okay, we do produce. Okay, this is a perfect example, okay, of how the graph will be like, okay. So the cost remain constant, over a given level of activity. Beyond that level, the cost will be increasing, okay. It's a stepwise, okay, so it's step, okay, stepped and fixed cost, okay. Question? Okay, then you have called the mixed cost, okay, mixed cost, okay. A mixed cost, it means it has both a variable element with it, and it has also a fixed element with it, okay. So it's small, it's a mixed, it has both elements, okay. To some extent it's variable, to some extent it's a fixed cost, okay. An example could be, an example could be maybe the salary that you pay to your workers, okay, those who are involved in production. Maybe those workers, you do pay them a fixed salary, okay. For example, you pay them, let's say 10,000, okay, per week. Assume that you pay them 10,000 per week, okay. However, if the production, or if maybe the company has more need of their service, okay, beyond what was the contractual agreement, what do they do? You have them on overtime, okay. But if, for example, the worker is meant to work, let's say 7 hours in a day, okay, but because of the extra demand that you want, because you're producing more units, you ask them, hey, I would want you to in code, stay for longer, okay? You work for overtime, okay? In that context, therefore, okay, we can say that at the end of the day, okay, the amount that you'll be receiving, or the amount that the worker receives, first is fixed, okay, because they're meant to work 7 hours in a day, 7 hours in a day, okay. However, if the company is producing more, okay, beyond or wanting to have them work longer than 7 hours, then the extra hours the company have to pay them for the overtime, okay. Therefore, their pay remain fixed. However, beyond a certain beyond a certain level of activities, then the company will be paying them overtime. Okay, and this overtime is based on the number of units that they are producing. Okay, for every extra unit that they produce, okay, maybe the company pay them an overtime of, let's say, like $1. Okay, based on every extra unit that they're able to produce. Okay, so it remains fixed. Okay, however, it becomes a variable. Okay, beyond a certain level of activity. Okay. So the mixed costs, also referred to as the semi-variable cost or the semi-fixed cost, okay, are partly fixed and partly variable. Okay, so they have both elements. Okay, some part of them is fixed, some part of them is variable. Okay, and therefore only partly affected by changes in activity level. Okay, so beyond a certain level, then maybe the cost becomes a variable. Okay, maybe between 0 and, let's say, between 0 hour and 7 hours, the pay to this employee is fixed. Okay, only case it is based on production. Let me give an example with the graph here. This is between the pay to this employee, okay, is based on the units. Okay, this is the salary the employee takes. Okay, the agreement, okay, that this employee is meant to produce, let's say, maybe how many units in a week? Okay, maybe 10,000, let's say 100 units per week. Okay, therefore the salary, for example, okay, can take the shape that between 0 and 100, the salary remains the same. If this employee produce more units, if this employee produce more, if for every extra unit that they produce, okay, for every extra unit that they produce, they may pay, for example, okay, let's say $10 per unit, per extra unit, okay, which means therefore their pay is going to increase. If they produce more than 100, okay, then their pay is going to be increasing for every extra unit they produce. Therefore, the cost here will start therefore becoming a variable cost. So first it was a fixed here. This fixed, and now this becomes therefore it's a variable cost here. Okay, they refer to as what we call a semi-variable cost. It's both fixed and also variable. Okay, both fixed and also variable. Okay. So this is a graph that can take also. Okay, where you have, for example, what would be the Could be also, this could be another example, okay? Assume that you have agent, we'll call the sales agent. We have sales agent. These are sales agent, okay? Where you pay them a fixed salary, okay? However, for every unit, so for this agent, this sales agent, okay, they receive a fixed salary and a commission, okay? So first, you do pay them a fixed salary and a commission. For example, the fixed salary, okay, that they're able to produce, they're able to earn in a week, in a month, for example, is 10,000. However, you do pay them, okay, for every unit they're able to sell, okay, there's a commission they receive, for example, 2% of whatever they're able to sell, which means therefore, the more units that they sell, okay, the more units that they're selling, the more commission they'll be receiving. However, even if they don't sell, there's a fixed salary they're receiving here, okay, of 10,000, okay. So you can see therefore here the cost is going to start becoming variable immediately at 0 point, okay. If you have to compare the previous one, where the variable part starts from 10,000, let me just go back to the previous slide, okay? So in this example, okay, so the pay to this employee is fixed, okay, between 0 and 100. It becomes variable between 100 going and above, okay? In this example, okay, the cost is fixed if the employee, this agent, okay, does not produce, doesn't make any sale, there's still a guarantee in quote, okay, of 10,000, okay. There's a guarantee of 10,000, okay. So beyond 0, if they produce 1 unit, then they're paid a commission on that extra 1 unit, okay, going forward, okay. So the variable cost element start immediately, okay, once they start making sales, okay. There is no like in quotes, they must make a sale of at least 10 units, like in the previous case, okay. The commission is for on every unit that they make a sale on, for example, okay. So they have the fixed part here, okay. There's a fixed part, and you have here at the end the variable part, okay. So don't confuse the semi-variable cost or the semi-fixed cost and the stepped fixed cost, okay, because that is a mistake you can make, okay. So don't make that confusion, okay. I would call semi-variable cost and the semi-fixed and the stepped fixed cost, okay. Is that clear? Okay. Question here. What's the answer? James? Alexander?
Variable B.
B. Okay. Variable cost. Okay. James, what do you think?
I think the answer is variable.
Variable cost. Okay, B. Okay. Joshua, what do you think?
I think it's semi-variable.
Semi-variable cost. Why do you think
Yeah.
it's semi-variable cost, Joshua?
Yes, pardon?
Why do you think it's semi-variable?
I think it's semi-variable because when it comes to sales could they could go up or they could go down. So we cannot actually quote a price that the mail company would distribute our sales because the number of sales can go down or they can go up. So I think it will just change depending on the sales.
So is it variable or semi-variable?
I think it could be fixed at a point. That means it is
How?
semi-variable.
So how is it going to be fixed?
Sales could remain constant at some time. That's what I think.
So let's first begin, Joshua, before you go. So what we are trying to consider here is the postage cost. So how is the postage cost going to be fixed or variable? I agree that definitely so first here the postage cost is our dependent variable, okay, and the sales item is our independent variable. So as we sell more, maybe the cost will be increasing or remain fixed. So I'm trying to get to understand, okay, how therefore is going to be a semi-variable, Joshua.
Pardon?
So how is the postage cost going to be a semi-variable? I'm trying to understand to understand how you came about it.
Okay. I was thinking if let's say for example we are selling maybe Bluetooth speakers or something like that, and our sales at let's say when there's no event towards December, our sales go up. That means we'll be distributing more. And
Yes.
then when it comes to January, then maybe the sales go down and they maybe remain at a constant for a period of time. So we will have maybe a few people asking for them, maybe a fixed number of people asking, or customers that we know that are fixed will be ordering those speakers, and then we'll be distributing them at a fixed price because the post office will know that this is our fixed amount usually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. But when it comes maybe a season where the sales go up, then the prices change at that time.
Okay. What if you produce you don't make any distribution? What are the cost at that point? Or you don't make a sale?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
What if now we have a case where there's no distribution, you don't make any sale? Okay, so in the month of January, you don't make any sale. It is very bad. What should the cost be at that point?
The cost, it could go up to zero. You won't be spending anything because you're not distributing anything.
So is that going to be a variable cost or a semi-variable cost? Based on the answer.
A variable.
It will be more of variable cost. In case, based on your answer, in that context, therefore, it can be a variable cost. Okay. However, by the way,
Yeah.
okay, I agree. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. However, if this company, for example, okay, has a postage office box, okay, it has a post office box, okay, with the Postal Corporation of Kenya, okay. Do you pay a fixed? Is there any charge you do pay, okay, for you having that post operation box? Is there some fee that you pay in case you have an agreement with the post office? That do you pay a fixed cost for it? Hannah?
Yes.
Do you pay a fixed cost? Is there any cost you do incur? Okay, for the maintenance of your post office address, more or less.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay, so generally, don't forget, I think you do pay. Okay, yeah, there's a fixed cost that you do pay. Okay, so it actually the answer can be B or C. Okay, it can either be B or C. Okay, depending on what angle you look at it. Okay, because in case generally, if you look at the case, the context we have in Kenya. Okay, you do pay a fixed pay. There's a pay you pay. There's a pay you make a fixed pay. Okay, however, if you're making distribution, okay, if you're making distribution to the post office, okay, then for every distribution that you make, for every in quote letter that you send, okay, through the postal corporation, they'll be paying a fee, okay, and the more you send, the more you incur, okay. So it's going to be both a fixed cost and a variable cost, okay. So it can be semi-variable, but in case you don't have any formal contracts, okay, if you don't have any formal contract with the delivery units, then there's no any fixed cost you do incur, okay. Therefore, it's going to be a purely variable cost, okay? Because if we set zero, you incur zero, okay? However, if you have formal contracts with, for example, the Postal Corporation of Kenya, you will be required to pay a fixed cost. I think it should be 1,800 per year, okay? But it's still fixed, okay? The more you send through them, okay, therefore the cost therefore will be variable after that. But you do pay, for example, a fixed cost of 1,800 per year. Okay, so it can either go both sides, either variable cost or say variable cost. Okay, so either B or C, depending on which angle you look at it. Okay. Clear? Okay. 2. The answer? Ian?
I'm still thinking,
Think fast.
but considering from what you've told us in the previous statement, I think it's variable.
You think it's variable cost? Okay. That is from Ian. Whitney?
Stepped fixed.
Sorry?
Stepped fixed.
Yes, no, this is a stepped fixed cost. Okay, this is a stepped fixed cost. Okay, it's a stepped fixed cost. Okay, in the sense that the rent remains at 10,000. Okay, it remain at, I'm not sure how much it is in it. So the rent is going to remain fixed. Okay, if you have to use one factory. Okay, because here one factory will produce between zero. Okay, let's see, for example, we'll draw a simple graph here. Between 0 and 10,000 units. Okay, the rent remain fixed, okay, because you're using on one factory, okay. But in case you want to produce 15,000 units, then therefore you must hire another factory somewhere, okay. Therefore, the rent therefore will increase because you have another factory that you need to lease out, okay. Therefore, it's a stepped fixed cost, okay. It's a stepwise, okay. Oh, Ian, I hope it's clear. Don't forget the rent, okay, is fixed, okay, between 0 and 10,000, okay. Beyond that, then you must, okay, look for another factory somewhere to produce extra 5,000 units. Clear?
Clear.
Okay, great. Okay, question 3. Ishmael. Ishmael.
Semi-variable.
Semi-variable. Jenga, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, these are semi-variable cost. Okay, so it's going to be fixed at some point, then increase in line with the more pay. It declines with the bonus that are being paid. Okay, for instance, will be like this. Okay, it's going to, you're paid, for example, a fix of 10,000. Okay, however, based on the units you're producing, this will be a bonus. So the more you produce, the more the bonus. Okay, therefore to be such a thing. Okay, I will call a semi-variable cost. Okay, Alexander.
Yes, but now, if the company pays its staff a basis wage plus a bonus based on production, when you say wage costs, isn't this just the basis wage only,
No,
which
no,
is being looked at?
this is okay. Maybe yes, should have said the total wage cost. Maybe I think maybe to make it a bit clearer. Total wage cost. So it is not just for the basis wage only, okay, but for the total wage cost. I don't know. Maybe or total. What could be the better term to use there? I'm trying to add that, okay. But it will be a wage, okay, because it's wage based, okay. It's not salary as per se, okay. This is more towards the wage based. So maybe we can just clarify it. Say total wage cost. I hope that's make it better. Make it better. Alexander, you get it.
Thank you.
Okay. So another question here, okay, I think from some other area altogether. Moses.
Yes.
What's the answer?
D. The jump room.
Indirect expense. Okay. Marvin, do you agree? Marvin?
Yes.
Do you agree?
My answer is indirect material cost.
Yes, and the answer is indirect material cost. Okay. Oil, this is material. Okay. This is oil, this is material. Okay. So it is material in itself. Okay. Well, this oil, this is like fuel. Okay. This is oil. Okay. It is a material. It's something tangible. Okay. So it's a material. That's the first bit. Okay. It is a material. It does not form part of the final product. So therefore, it is therefore not direct, but therefore indirect. Okay. Though this is lubricating oil, it is a material, it's something tangible, it's material. Okay. However, it does not form part of the final commodity. Okay. Therefore, it is indirect material cost. Okay. Here. Moses, that's clear.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
May you please repeat the explanation?
Yeah.
Sorry?
May you please repeat the explanation?
I can't hear you. You're a bit far from the mic. I can't hear you very well.
May you please repeat the explanation?
I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear. Could you type on the chat, because I seem not to hear you very well. Okay, so that's on that is an indirect material cost. Okay, it's material because it's something, it is tangible. Okay, and then it does not form part of the final product. Okay, since it doesn't form, okay, then we got therefore an indirect material cost. Okay. Someone was asking a question, but now chat. Could you put it on the chat, because I seem not to get you very clear. Then the other classification method we have is classifying cost based on the function. Okay, what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose of incurring that cost? Okay, what was the purpose of incurring that cost? Okay, is it because why are we incurring that cost? Okay, that's the question. Why are we incurring that particular cost? Okay, what was the reason, okay, behind incurring that cost? Okay, is it to do the research? Okay, is it to was it for distribution of the commodity? Okay, was it for what was the reason behind you incurring that cost? Okay, I think that's the easiest way of trying to explain it. Okay, what function, what purpose? Okay, was that cost incurred for? Okay, because the use of the classifying cost based on their function. Okay, we can have, for example, production cost. We have admin cost. Okay, financing cost, selling and distribution cost. Okay, so the classification here is purely based on the function with which that cost was incurred for, the purpose. Okay, for which the cost was incurred for. Okay. I think we did discuss on how you can prepare what we call a cost card, okay, where you have the direct cost, both material and labor cost, okay, as well as the direct expense cost, okay. Don't forget the direct cost give us, or the sum give us what we call the prime cost, okay. I hope you still remember the cost card that we prepared before. Let me just go back there, the cost card which we did prepare. This was a cost card, okay, which I think I told you you take note of, because we will be making more reference about it in future, okay. We have, for example, direct material cost, direct labor cost, and the sum of these two give us the direct expense cost, and the sum of these two give us what we call the prime cost, okay, the prime cost. Then you can have, for example, the production overhead cost, okay, plus the prime cost, okay, to give us therefore, okay, the sum of these three, okay, material, direct labor, direct expense, okay, give therefore the prime cost, okay. Prime cost plus production overhead cost, okay, this X here, give therefore the total production cost, okay. If we have all other overhead costs that have been absorbed, okay, then the plus other overheads, this give therefore total cost we have incurred in making of that particular commodity, okay, which I think we went through the last classes, okay. So it helps us in preparing what we refer to as a cost card. Now I want us to prepare one, a cost card, okay. Okay, and let's go through this, okay, take your time, okay, go through it, and we prepare one cost card. Okay, first prepare it. Let me see how far you go. Okay, what's the cost? The total cost, that is. Hamida. Hamida.
Yes,
What's the total cost?
I'm still trying.
Okay, do it first. Hirani. Hirani.
Yeah.
What was the cost?
So I've only calculated till prime cost.
Oh, only done the prime cost bit.
I've only done until prime cost.
Okay, so the prime cost.
I got it as 24.25 and 40 cents.
24. I didn't get it clearly, Hirani.
24.25 and 40 cents.
24. So $24 and
40 cents.
40 cents. $24.40.
Yeah.
Okay, that's from Hirani. This prime cost. Anne, what do you have? Anne, we can't hear you.
I'm still doing it.
You're still doing it. Okay. Okay, let's do it together. Let's do it together. So here, don't forget you meant to prepare a cost card, okay, for this particular product, okay. This company seems to be making braces. Don't forget we need to evaluate the cost, the prime cost, the production overhead, as well as the non-production overhead, okay. Quantifying each one of them, okay. So let's do it together. Give me a second to get my writing area. Okay, let's do it together. So that the they can makes 20,000 braces per year. Each brace requires half an hour of labor at a cost of $5 per hour. So you can begin by getting, oh, sorry, this writing pad is not the best. Let me get another one. Okay, so you can begin by getting labor cost. Okay, which will be equal to half an hour times $5 to therefore 2.5 over dollar, like therefore the labor cost. Okay, then three bought-in components. Okay, costing 1.5. So this is the direct cost. Okay, so you have labor cost. Then here you have material cost. In material, there are three of them. We have, okay, can just get the total here, 1.25 plus 2 plus 40 cents to give us how much? 3 point. Total material cost is how much? The sum of those three.
3.65.
3.65. 3.65, therefore the total direct material cost. Then he'll be told that this packaging, okay, they do package these braces, okay, as you do the deliver. So the packaging cost, what is it? Is it direct cost or is it indirect cost? Sorry? So the packaging cost, is it direct or is it indirect cost? You guys?
Direct.
Direct. Okay, it is not labor, it's not material. So what is it? The expense. Okay, so this is direct expense cost. Okay, direct expense cost. Okay, the packaging cost. Okay, which means therefore we do need to get the cost per unit. The packaging for braces costs $16 for 100 boxes, and these 100 boxes, how much they consume? Okay. So here, I think we have to make an assumption that these 100 boxes, they are the one that carries the entire 20,000 braces. And what could they mean here? Okay, for the box. The packaging for the brace costs $16 per box. Okay, you can assume that it is this is the cost, that one box is one brace. Can we assume that way? I guess so. Let's make that assumption. Yeah, let's assume that way. Okay. But therefore, packaging material per brace. Okay, I think let's just do here. Packaging cost. Okay, this is just working. It'll be equal to $16 divided by 100. Okay, therefore $16. Okay, packaging material cost therefore is equal to 16 cents. Okay. The beginning income fixed production cost, and that's fixed production. So we are done with prime cost. Therefore, what's the prime cost? Sum of those three prime costs, we get how much?
6.31.
6.31, get 6.31. Okay, then you can add other production costs. Okay, so this is production overhead cost. In between, the fixed production cost is 4,000 per annum. Therefore, per brace, see, a fixed production overhead per brace will be equal to, it's 4,000 for the entire year, and the entire year you produce 20,000. Therefore, per brace is how much? What was the cost per brace? 0.
0.2.
0.2, okay? Therefore, fixed production overhead cost 0.2. Total give us 6.51. You therefore total production cost. Okay, this therefore give us the total production cost. Okay, then you have other non-production overhead. So non-production overhead. You be told that the cost of selling distribution and work at and distribution workouts at 50 cents per item. So 50 cents, 0.5. Give 7.01 to be therefore the total cost. Okay, and that is accounted for the cost card for this brace. Okay, is it clear? Okay, question? That's what you might have done there. Question? Okay, no question. Great. I think I hope that was easy for you. So let's do another question. Let's go back and we attempt another question. Okay, this one. Aisha, what do you have? Aisha?
52.40.
52.40. Ishmael? Ishmael?
50.40.
50.40. Okay. Marvin, what do you have?
52.40.
52.40. And Jenga, what do you have?
50.40.
Okay, so you see we have two answers here. Hamida, what do you have?
52.40.
52.240. So D.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the time to read together. Now here service here we have is it a garage sort of, okay, that requires half hour of unskilled and 3 hours skilled. Okay, so let's do. Okay, I think this one can do a cost card. Give me a second here. Okay, so we do that. Skilled labor, so this is direct cost. This is direct cost here. We begin with labor cost. Okay, which will be equal to skilled labor require 3 hours. So 3 hours times the cost per hour, which is 9, to give therefore 27. Okay, unskilled it require half an hour. Okay, at a cost of $5 to give therefore 2.5. Okay, the give of labor cost. Then you have material cost. Material cost. So direct material cost. Okay, which we've been told is equal to the oil filters, screen walls, spark plugs. They cost 6.9 in total. So therefore, material cost 6.9. Okay, rent and rates for industrial units for which the service center operates. Okay, work out at $4 per hour. Okay, so don't forget here we've been told that the rent and the rates. Okay, for these units. Okay. Is not part of the direct cost. Okay, I hope that's clear. Okay, don't forget this is not part of the direct cost. Okay, why? Because rent, okay, it does not form part of the final commodity. I hope that's clear to all of you. Okay, it doesn't form part of the final commodity. Okay, therefore it is part of the production overhead. Okay, it is part of the production overhead. Okay, the rent that you pay is part of production overhead. So we don't need, because you've been asked the prime cost. Okay, the prime cost, only the direct cost. Okay, therefore the production overhead, okay, they're not part of the direction, they're not part of the prime cost. Okay, admin costs, these are non-production overhead, $2. So we don't even take account of it. Okay, and that's kind of for the prime cost. Can you get how much?
36.4.
36.4. How are you getting 50? With some of you are getting 50.4, that's 52.4. How are you getting it? Hamida, you're getting a different answer. How did you get that 52.4? Hamida? Hamida is not in class. Hamida?
Yes.
How you got 52.4?
Yeah.
How are you getting it? Hamida?
Yes, no.
How are you getting 52.4? I want to understand why you made the mistake. That's what I want to understand.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
It's Ian.
It's Moses.
This is Moses, yes.
Yeah, I was asking what happened to the $2 and the $4.
The $2 and the
$4.
Okay, the $2. Okay, if you want to draw the entire cost card, okay, you can draw it. Then here you can have here production overhead cost, okay, which is the rent you're paying, which is equal to working at $4 per hour. Okay, since you do consume 3 hours maximum, therefore to be 3 hours times 4, okay, to give us $12. Okay, then we have here total production cost. Okay, give us 48.4, I guess, 48.4, yes, okay. Then you have admin cost here, the non-production overhead. So this is admin, it's not part of production, and it's $2 per service, okay, it is equal to $2 here. Therefore, you can here have total cost,
which is
50.4, okay. But the question is very clear here. You've been asked to get the prime cost only, okay. That's why, therefore, I didn't include the $12 and the $2 here, because you've been asked only on the prime cost, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Hamida, how are you getting 52.4? I want to understand that in the future, in case something similar is brought, you don't make the mistake.
Sir.
Yes. Hamida, but Hamida, you went quiet. What happened? And you compose yourself, then can come back. Yes, Ishmael.
Here in the production overhead, you've done 3 by 4.
Yes, 3 hours.
The 3 is the 3 hours, right?
3 hours, yeah. The maximum hours that they'll be taking, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. The 3 hours, the maximum hours that they'll be taking. Okay. In the question? By the way, just a minute, because you asked that question. A service or a sport can require 3 hours of skills, okay, followed by, that's the term followed by, okay, means that the total hours that they'll be taking 3.5, actually. It's 3.5, because 3 hours of skills, okay, it does not mean that they are skilled are also working in the car, okay, because generally what happens is that, okay, you're going to have the skilled laborers working at the same time, the unskilled laborers are also working at the same time. But actually here, it's really clear. It's 3 hours followed by, okay, I hope that term is really clear. So it's 3 hours and half hour. Okay, thank you for that. The one who did pinpoint it. Yeah, so it's 3.5 here actually. It's not 3, just 3. It's 3.5. Was it 3 hours followed by? So in total, the total hours this particular car will take is 3 hours for skilled and a half hour, okay, for the unskilled, okay. But in reality, what happens is that you can having the skilled and the unskilled more or less working together, okay. So therefore, you'll be having a maximum hour spent of 3. But here it's 3 hours followed by, okay, therefore a total of 3.5 hours. So here you get 14, I guess. I don't know. I guess you get 14.
Yeah, 14.
14, and here you get 50.
50.4.
50.4. 50.4. Then here you get 52.4.
Yeah.
52.4. Okay, yeah. And that's how you're meant to have done that question. Be very careful with what the exam is asking. The exam in this case is not asking on the total cost, but on the prime cost. Okay, thus you have to be quite careful. Okay. Okay, fair enough. I guess we can meet tomorrow. Okay, we meet tomorrow. We pick from there. Okay, unless you have any question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you ask.
Maybe can you explain what does non-production overhead?
Or the non-production overhead. These are costs that these are the costs incurred. They are not as per se directly involved. Let's say in this example, in the repairing or the service of this car. They're not involved. For example, this company may be having a cashier, isn't it? Who asked the question?
Yes.
Yeah, this particular, maybe this particular company, okay, they have cashiers. Now, are the cashier involved in the service of the car? Are they involved?
No.
No, but do you pay them?
Yes.
Therefore, these are non-production staff members. The pay to them is a non-production overhead. Is it clear?
Okay.
The mechanics, the pay you do make to the mechanics, they are involved in the servicing of the car, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so therefore, the pay to those mechanics, as per se, therefore, is part of the direct labor cost. Now, those mechanics, they may be having supervisors, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you pay the supervisor?
No. Yes, you do. You do.
You do. You have to pay them that way, isn't it? Okay. But this supervisor is supervising the work, even though they are not directly involved in the servicing the car. They are part of the service. They are the one supervising how the service is being done, isn't it?
Yes.
Therefore, the pay to them is production overhead. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, so the CEO, the salary to the CEO, the managing director of this company, the cashier, the accountants is non-production. They are not involved in doing the service, okay? The salary to the mechanics is direct labor cost. That's why the salary, they're not involved directly in the service, providing the service, okay? However, they're supervising how the work is being done. They have the part of production overhead, okay? Clear?
Yes.
Okay, great, okay. Any other question? Okay, another question? Then fair enough, we can meet tomorrow when we pick from there. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.